Thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. I am Maria Moreau here with your Monday edition of Catch Up Quick, where we're catching up on all of the stories making headlines in and around Metro Atlanta. Always like to start these off with a beautiful look outside at our home. If you are a resident of Atlanta, take a pause today. Start your week off on the right note. It is a beautiful day. We have First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi joining us to help you get your week set up with a weather forecast. There is a First Alert weather day coming up in this week that you will want to know about, so stick around. She will join us. But first, let's get you through some of the top stories that we're following. Starting with this one, anti-war protests on college campuses continue to grow nationwide. Police in Los Angeles and other cities made over 100 arrests over the weekend. The protests led the University of South California to cancel its main commencement, citing security concerns. They also closed their campus to visitors on Saturday. An encampment remains at Columbia University in New York, and just this morning, a group of UGA students setting up what they call a, quote, Gaza Solidarity encampment on campus led to arrests. Atlanta News First Don Shipman is in Athens with the latest.
Dozen students being arrested here, zip-tied and all. You can take a look right here as campus police are talking with these demonstrators, and you can see some of them sitting on the curb there with those zip ties behind their back, with their hands behind their back. This group organizing this demonstration is called Students for Justice of Palestine. They say that these are students and Athens community members, and they set up in front of the old college quad here, and they're demanding university solidarity protection and the disclosure and divestment of financial relationships with what they call Zionist organizations. And you know, there have been many anti-war protests across the country and throughout Georgia. Today's demonstration here in Athens at UGA began at 7 o'clock this morning, and it comes days after 24 students and 3 faculty members were arrested during pro-Palestine protests on the campus of Emory University. Again, campus police here in Athens at UGA are here, and they told us they arrived here shortly after this demonstration began. Some of the students, as they were being put into the police vehicle here, were looking at our camera, telling us that they are on public property. Why can they not demonstrate? As far as why they are being arrested, we haven't heard that from police as of yet, but we're going to continue to follow this as we're looking here live. You see these students are being brought across the parking lot here and then put into that police caravan right there. And I've counted at least a dozen students who have been arrested. As far as charges, what that'll be, we'll still wait to see and learn more information. We also have reached out to the university to get a comment from them, waiting to hear back. Dozens.
And there's some video for you. Emory University, just on Thursday, we took you out on Atlanta News First Plus and over the air on Atlanta News First. You could see some of that clashing between police and the so-called protesters, students or non-students alike. Well, Georgia's college students, legal organizations, and advocacy groups say that they are holding a briefing today at Emory University to both talk about Thursday's events, but also address the nationwide protests that we're seeing in relation to the Israel-Hamas war. Among the remarks are expected from Emory University, Atlanta University Center students, and many other groups, the Southern for Human Rights, and Emory alumni, Project South, and Asian Americans Advancing Justice. We have, of course, reporters following all angles of this, and we will be sure to keep you updated on air and online on atlantanewsfirst.com. Make sure you check that out. All right, talking about news that really impacts everybody. Early voting is starting. It is now. So if you are somebody who is not the type of person that can make it to vote on your actual voting day, listen up to this information ahead of next month's general election primary. It is going to be your chance to pick your party's nominees for a variety of state and local seats. Georgia voters get exactly 3 weeks during the early voting period. And as Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm will tell you, this is going to be a consequential race.
Remember, in Georgia, you don't have to go to your assigned precinct for early voting. You can go anywhere in your county where they're offering early voting. For example, here at the Buckhead Library, anyone who lives in Fulton County can come here to cast an early ballot starting today. Of course, this primary vote is crucially important. This is when you pick who will represent your party in November in all sorts of local and state races. Some of the high-profile races we're watching include Fulton County District Attorney. Fonnie Willis faces a Democratic challenger. His name is Christian Y. Smith, and he's been very vocal in trying to unseat her. Fulton County Sheriff Patrick Labatt faces 4 Democratic challengers who each believe they can do a better job at running the troubled Fulton County Jail. We're also watching the 3rd Congressional District. 6 Republicans are seeking their party's nomination to replace Congressman Drew Ferguson, who's stepping down. Something you'll notice on your ballot, judgeships are nonpartisan in Georgia, so May is it for selecting judges. And here in Fulton County, the judge overseeing the Trump election interference case, Scott McAfee, is up for re-election. An attorney and talk show host by the name of Robert Patillo is challenging him. Early voting runs now through May 17th, even on weekends, depending on your county. Primary election day itself is May 21st. In Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
And this story that we first brought you on Atlanta News First this morning, police saying 2 teenagers playing with a gun at home in southeast Atlanta left one shot and the other now facing charges. The shooting happened at a home on Oak Knoll Terrace shortly before midnight. Atlanta police say 2 16-year-old boys were playing with a gun at a friend's house when one of the 16-year-olds accidentally fired the gun, shooting his friend in the face. He was unconscious when paramedics rushed him to Grady. Police say he is expected to survive, but will likely have an unfortunately long road to recovery. Meanwhile, the teenager who reportedly fired the shot has been arrested. No words yet on what charges he is facing, but this is a story you can count on us to follow and update you on. A good reminder, download the the Atlanta News First app and the First Alert Weather app, actually. With breaking news stories just like these, we want to make sure that if it impacts your community, if this is a high interest story, that you know about it first. So that is where the Atlanta News First app comes in. It's a fantastic tool for breaking news and making sure that you're staying up to date on what's happening in your local area. All right, moving on to some major news. National turned local Vice President Kamala Harris will be in Atlanta this afternoon. It comes as she launches her nationwide economic opportunity tour. The focus of the tour is to help invest in communities, build wealth, and make sure that every American has the opportunity to thrive, according to her office. Atlanta News First will be following the vice president throughout her day here in Atlanta. Our Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is on the story, of course, so make sure you tune in this afternoon and in our evening newscasts as we bring you both her remarks and her arrival. I do believe her plane lands at 12:30, so we will be right here live on Atlanta News First Plus with the latest coverage. All right, and I know we like to keep it local with your news here, but I just want to take a moment to show you some of this video. Tornadoes tearing across Oklahoma in what really looks like a devastated war zone type of environment. The hardest hit state of the plains, Oklahoma. As you can see, destruction is just miles and miles. With the small city of Sulphur in Oklahoma, it's home to about 5,000 people and some 85 miles southeast of Oklahoma City. And as you can see, it just has absolutely been reduced to rubble. More than 100 tornadoes are reported to have struck down since Friday across the Midwest and the South. And luckily for us here in Georgia, no tornadoes, but we do have some storms in the forecast. First Alert meteorologist Courtney Jacobazi is here to help you plan out your week.
That's right, yeah. Thankfully, we are not going to deal with anything remotely close to what they experienced out west. Now, just to kind of give you some, I guess, meteorological insight on what exactly happened out in the plains. You have tornado warnings, and they issued over 100 over the span of a few days with that particular event. It was a multi-day severe weather event, but something that was really just daunting to watch as a meteorologist. There are some tornado warnings that we call PDS tornado warnings. It means particularly dangerous situation tornado warnings. There were multiple of those going on at one time. Having a PDS tornado warning is rare within the first place, but to have multiple ongoing at the same time, I couldn't imagine being a meteorologist covering that, knowing that there are people in the path of that and not just one you have to worry about, but multiple. And clearly we saw the aftermath of those particularly dangerous situations really leveling homes, businesses, towns. And so we are thinking of our neighbors to the west as they continue to clean up and kind of round out their multi-day severe weather event. Here at home, yes, we do have the chance for storms. First alert weather day tomorrow, but it is not going to be nearly as rough as any of the storm systems out to our west. It's going to be scattered storms that could carry some heavy downpours. They could also be electric, maybe carry some gusty wind, but we are not expecting any kind of severe weather with this. I want to take you to first alert radar because this is kind of the last piece of that severe weather event along a cold front. So we had a cold front. We also had a dry line, a part of this very large weather system. What a dry line is it kind of acts as a cold front, but instead of separating cool and warm air, you have warm and moist air and warm and dry air that run into each other and act like a cold front. So those scientific details aside, caused havoc across the plains and even into Texas. And now finally the last little piece of energy moving through Louisiana. And you can see very electric there. Now, we are going to get a piece of that energy. So essentially what that is we call it a mesoscale convective system. It's kind of like a mini cold front. We're going to get kind of a wave of energy to push off the cold front that brought all the storms out west, and we call that a short wave. So lots of meteorological terms. All you need to know is we will have the chance for storms as that short wave moves through. But the thing is, not going to bring us the chance for severe weather because the cold front that energy is going to come off of is going to be weakening and moving north. So a lot of that energy for any kind of support for organized severe weather is not going to line up with the storms that move in tomorrow. So I know I said a lot. I know I threw a lot of information at you. That's kind of an idea of what the meteorologists talk about and how we go about forecasting. I'm kind of bringing it to you here. But what you need to know is we'll have the chance for storms tomorrow, but we're not looking at any kind of organized severe weather as our atmosphere just simply isn't going to support it. Here at home today, it's going to be a nice one. No, we started cloudy. I know we did, but now we're seeing a lot of sunshine finally, and we'll keep that going for the rest of the day. That'll allow temperatures to climb into the upper 70s to low 80s today. So a nice and toasty one. As we head into the overnight tonight, you'll notice an increase in cloud cover, maybe a stray shower with temperatures dropping into the 60s. So it'll be a really comfortable start to the day tomorrow, very similar to where we started this morning. So maybe a light jacket as you step out tomorrow morning, but overall a pretty nice start. Of course, tomorrow, our first alert weather day, because of the showers that could start as early as the morning and then the afternoon storms, that'll keep temperatures generally in the mid to upper 70s rather than the 80s. That rain will kind of help cap our temperature rather than soaring into the 80s. 50% coverage of rain. So let's take you through first alert futurecast. If you're an early morning commuter around 5 a.m., a few showers will be possible across metro, especially north and west of the city. And you'll notice kind of that line out in Alabama. So that's that short wave that I'm talking about. A parent weather system carrying a cold front will be moving northeast and kind of weakening, and we'll get some energy to push off of that and bring us our chance for showers and thunderstorms. Now, as we head towards 7, 8 o'clock, that'll kind of start to fizzle because, again, our atmosphere just not necessarily super supportive of all of it. But either way, as we head into the afternoon, things start to heat up through the afternoon hours. Notice how that front move or that short wave moves in, that piece of energy moves in. And at this point, since we have heat and we will have at least enough moisture in the atmosphere to kind of hold something together, we'll have the chance for afternoon storms. So as you're headed home from school tomorrow, or picking up the kids from school tomorrow, I should say, prepare for the chance for some afternoon storms, and that could continue for your evening commute as well. Again, no organized severe threat, but some heavy downpours, maybe some gusty wind, and definitely some lightning in those storms throughout the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Here's a look at the rain over the next 6 days. So Wednesday and Thursday are dry. And then as we head into Saturday and Sunday, unfortunately, if you have any weekend plans, it does look like an approaching cold front will be moving in. And along and ahead of that cold front, we will have the chance for showers and thunderstorms. So Not that it's going to be a washout. I don't think the weekend is going to necessarily have, rain all day long. It's more so going to be those afternoon storms, kind of what we talk about in the summer. We call them pulse thunderstorms. They kind of pop up. You'll see those tall cumulonimbus clouds grow, and then all the rain and storms spill out of it when it can't hold all that moisture anymore. That's kind of what we're going to experience over the weekend. But again, an approaching cold front will help kind of kick that off as we head into the weekend. And then it will ultimately help cool us down a little bit, just a touch, as we head into Sunday. So overall, not the driest week, not the nicest week, but not a complete washout either. So we have that first alert weather day Tuesday right now. Saturday, not a first alert weather day, but definitely has an opportunity to be if we think that the rain and storms are going to have an impact on your weekend. Right now, it's just a little too far out. We don't have enough confidence in it but just know if you have any weekend plans, you're going to want to keep an eye on the forecast because it could very well be kind of rainy and stormy. Here's a look at the rainfall totals as we head through Sunday. Not worrying about any kind of flash flooding. Now, don't get me wrong. As we have those afternoon storms fire up, they're going to carry some heavy downpours. So that could cause some ponding in the roadways, but we're not looking at any kind of major flash flooding threat, any kind of flooding threat in general, because this is going to be, again, over the period of 6 days. We'll pick up 1 inch to 2 inches of rain. If that was all falling within a few hours, we'd be a little more concerned. But again, that's over the span of about 6 days. The next 6 days, speaking of, are going to be very warm. So rain is one story, but the heat's really going to be a big story as we head through the next several days. Highs tomorrow in the upper 70s. That's going to be one of the cooler days this week. Notice as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, highs in the mid to upper 80s. We're going to approach record heat as we head into the official start of May. May starts on today's Monday. May starts on Wednesday. And then as we head into the weekend, again, we have that approaching cold front that'll offer us a chance for some showers and a few rumbles of thunder. And then we'll stay a little unsettled into the weekend. So not only that front moving in, but the rain, both of those things kind of working in tandem will get us out of the mid to upper 80s and put us at least closer to average, which will ultimately be 78 degrees on Wednesday, but upper 70s is where we should be sitting this time of year. So that front and the rain will kind of help put us back near normal. Let's put it all together in our first alert 7-day forecast for you. Overall, not a terrible week. If you like the warm weather, it's a great week. I'm excited about it. We have mostly sunny skies as we head through the afternoon. We were partly sunny this morning, so we'll make adjustments to that. But low 80s today. First alert weather day tomorrow for the scattered storms. We'll have the chance for maybe a few rumbles of thunder in the morning, but the afternoon and evening will carry the best coverage of rain and storms tomorrow. So just plan that into your day. As you're thinking about picking the kids up from school, you might need to wait in the car line a little longer, maybe get there a little earlier, and just plan a few extra minutes for that evening commute. And then as we head into Wednesday, mid 80s, same for Thursday, mid to upper 80s. And then we'll introduce that chance for a few showers and storms on Friday ahead of a cold front that moves in over the weekend. That'll increase our coverage of rain and storms and kind of cool us off as we head into Saturday and Sunday. So I hope everyone can get out and enjoy the nice and warm sunshine today because the rain chances will be on the rise, especially as we head into this upcoming weekend. Make sure to download that First Alert Weather app. That'll be a great tool to have to kind of monitor the forecast, especially as you're starting to think about the weekend. It might be Monday, but it's never too early to think about the weekend. So we'll keep you covered on that forecast as we make our way through the week. Enjoy your day, everyone. Thanks so much, as always, for spending some time with us here on Atlanta News First Plus, and we'll catch you here next time.